to my stomach. Who else has had that sinking feeling, right? Where you just know that you're doing something, but it's putting you on a path which isn't aligned. It's putting you on a path which is taking you away from your truth. And it's putting you on a path which is creating some sort of result, but it's not the result you deeply desire. And I had one of those moments where it's like, my mind kind of disconnected from my body got up, and it started running, and it ran, and without even thinking about it, I picked up the phone and I called my dad. And I had tears streaming down my face, and bravely, I said to him, Dad, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to be an architect. It's not for me. And there was this moment of silence, and to my surprise, my dad said, okay, baby, I support you. You know what, if you don't want to do that, that's okay. I want you to be happy. I want you to do what you love. I said, really? And Dad said, yeah, of course. But then he said, so what are you going to do? And I said, well, just give me a minute on that one, right? I had absolutely no clue. So has anyone else here been in a place where you're so sure on what you don't want to do, but you've got absolutely no idea what you do want to do with your life, right? That was me. And so that's what threw me into the world of personal development, of coaching and education and mentoring and really digging deep. And, I'd love to say to you guys, I wanted to really change the world and contribute to more charities. I didn't. I really just wanted to find a way to feel good. I wanted to find a way out. I wanted to find a way to not be in the system and do something that I love and create an amazing life. Is anyone else there where that would be a good starting point, right? So I went really nuts on the whole personal development thing. The personal development junkie. Don't know if there's any of them in the room right now. I was one, / still am, right? And so I spent over $500,000 over 10 years on my own education and still do, right? And I went nuts on it. I was learning everything from how to start businesses, how to invest in property, how to learn sales and marketing, like everything I could get my hands on. And I got to this point where I was investing all this money I didn't have, I was getting further and further into debt, and my life wasn't really changing. And I remember I said to one of my mentors at the time, I sat across from this table from him and I said, you know what, maybe this life just isn't for me. Maybe I should just get a job. Maybe I should have just been an architect. Like, maybe I'm not one of those people, right? And he looked across from me and he said, Regan. And he laughed in my face. I was like, well, that's not very kind, firstly. I'm like really vulnerable here, telling you that I'm really unsure about this. And he laughed right at me and he said, look, Regan, you've got it all backwards. He said, you've got to flip it. And he said, do you know the 80-20 thing? And I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, exactly. And he said, write this down. And I encourage you guys to write this down if you're not already ingrained in this. He said, success is 80% psychology, 80% mindset, 80% the energetic game, 80% the alignment of your internal world, and then only 20% what you do as a default of that. Only 20% the strategy and the action that you take on the outside. He said, Regan, you've got to do it backwards. I said, what are you doing right now on the 80%? I said, well, not much. He said, right. So that's what threw me into working on me and completely unattaching from how am I going to do it? How am I going to create success? How am I going to create more abundance? I let it go. I completely unattached. And I thought, how can I become the version of me where that stuff simply shows up as a default? Who would love successful things and people to just show up as a default because it's just who you are, right? So I went deep, and this is when I started learning NLP. I started training as a hypnotherapist. I started digging deep into timeline therapy. We're going to play with some of these amazing tools today. And what was interesting is I noticed my life started to change. I noticed every single area of my life started to shift and evolve. And I started becoming happier. And it was across the board. It wasn't just money. It wasn't just business. It was everything. And people started coming to me really naturally, saying, hey, Regan, I've been watching your journey, and how are you doing that? How do you do this? And I started teaching people what I knew. I started just telling them, well, definitely don't do this, 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 and this. And I would recommend you do this and this. And they started getting results too. They started changing their lives. They were coming back to me and telling me, and that's when I thought, wow, you know what? This is it. And for that first time ever in my life, that is when I felt like I tapped into purpose. And it went beyond me, little me, trying to figure out my life. And I tapped into something that was bigger than me. When I saw the impact that I was creating on the world. When I saw how I could touch and inspire people to change their lives. And it was this ripple effect that went on to do the same, who would love to create a bigger ripple effect in the world, by the way, simply because of who you are. Yes. And so that's when I started my first coaching business. I started working with people one-on-one, and I really created myself a job, right? I was on the phone 8 hours a day, loving what I did, had no time, I was super stressed out, right? And I thought to myself, okay, this is crazy. How do I still do what I love, but how do I accelerate it? How do I reach more people? How do I play a bigger game in this world? And that's when I started speaking. At first it clocked. I was like, I can spend an hour talking to 10 people rather than 10 hours talking to each of them, right? And so that's what threw me into the speaking side of things. Now what's interesting is I partnered with someone who was my age as well, from New Zealand, and together we formed a coaching and education company. And we grew that business to roughly $1 million a year, and I was 23 at the time. Now, so many people said to me at that moment, wow, Regan, so lucky. You know, this is so cool. Look what you've done, look what you've achieved. If only I could have a little bit of what you've achieved in my life. And it's funny because I remember this exact moment where I had about 40 people in a room that had invested thousands of dollars to come and hear me speak. And I was standing outside the room, and I walked out to the door to walk inside, and I didn't want to go inside. And I had that weird sinking, churning feeling in my stomach again, just like I had at university. And I kind of said, come on, Regan, like, get us together, like these people are inside. And I went to move my hand to open the door, and my body didn't want to go in. And so I went in to fulfill the room and to honor the people that had showed up, but I didn't ignore that feeling. I dug into that, and I was like, what is that? And all of this was running through my head around, shouldn't I just be grateful for what I've created? Right? Shouldn't I just be happy with this? Isn't this enough? I went to Bali for 4 weeks, and I went deep into the internal work. And I realized that although I'd created something, I'd manufactured it. I hadn't done it from a place where I surrendered to it coming through me. I was so obsessed still with trying to find the answers, trying to create the answers, that really I needed to get out of my own way and let what was inevitable come through me. You guys with me right now? Are you getting this?
Yes.
Right. And so I went to Bali, I went deep, and I made some commitments to myself. I made a commitment that I was going to boldly stand in my message of what I believe in this world no matter what. And feel free, you can take any of these if you want them. I made a commitment that I was no longer going to look externally for the answers. Instead, I was always going to go within. I made a commitment that no matter what other people were telling me to do or that I should be doing, I was going to follow my truth and align to my purpose each and every single day. And so from that place, that's when I started to surrender. That's when I actually committed to abundance. That's when I allowed abundance to flow through me instead of looking at how do I create it. I stopped asking about how. I stopped worrying about the strategy. Instead, I simply surrendered to what needed to come through because I became available. I increased my capacity to listen. I increased my capacity to receive. And this is what I'm going to talk to you about today and really get you guys into how you can increase your capacity to simply be a vessel for the abundance that is trying to come through you. Guys, the world is trying to co-create with you right now. It really is. It's knocking on your door and it's saying, I'm here, wake up, like please, come on. But we keep getting in the way, right? Our ego gets in the way, our strategy gets in the way, how do I do it, show me the answers gets in the way. When instead you need to trust and you need to flow. So, the business that you see today, if you go online, is amazing because it's different from me. It's not about the results, it is about the fact that it hasn't been manufactured. It's flown through me, it's in alignment, it's created from a place of purpose and truth. I'm fortunate enough to travel the world with my love, who's filming so beautifully down here. And we do really deep transformational work with people. We go deep, we get them centered into their core. We show them how to completely transform their lives. We show them how to become more available so that they can create whatever it is that they're looking to manifest, whatever their abundant life is, they can tap into that from a place of ease, from a place of flow, from a place of trust, from a place of figuring out how do I actually do less, become more available, and receive more. Does that sound good? Right. Everyone go, yeah.
Yeah.
So what I want to dig in with you guys today is really looking at how can you take this and start to become more available and start to really tap into what is my abundant life? What does this look like? And what can I do internally so that I can become more in this world? so that I can receive more, but also so that I can be more, so that I can do more, so that I can touch more people, so I can inspire more, so that I can really live the life that I was put here to live at the end of the day. So let's just get a couple of shout outs. What does abundance mean to you guys? What does abundance mean to you guys?
Freedom.
Flow. What else?
Freedom.
Freedom. What else?
Connection.
Connection. That's not how you spell connection, is it? Oh yeah.
Yes.
Whew, I'm really bad at writing and speaking and thinking at the same time. Doing a lot here. Okay, what else, guys? Flow, freedom, connection.
Generosity. Love.
Fulfillment. Love. Generosity. What else?
Receiving.
Peace.
Fulfillment.
Fulfillment. Absolutely. Oh God. There we go.
Energy.
Energy. Right.
Time.
What's that?
Time.
Time. Yeah. Time. Freedom. Trust.
Nature.
Nature is one of the most beautifully abundant things in the world, right? Anything else?
Attitude.
Health. Attitude. Nice. Who before that story may have said money, be honest? Who thought they were coming to learn about money? Tapping into abundance.
I didn't understand the question.
Who thought they were coming to learn about money? When you say receiving abundance, tapping into abundance. A lot of people tag money as being abundance, right? And at the end of the day, it's a huge part of it, but I'll give you a hint right now. If you want to change your money game, go and look at the rest of it. The money's simply a default from all this. And once you truly know how to tap into abundance, once you truly know how to live an abundant life, the money can't not flow. The money's simply a default, it's an energy, it flows through you so that you can become more available and do more in the world at the end of the day, okay? So, the first thing I want to dig in with you guys in terms of receiving more abundance in your life and what this looks like is getting you totally clear on your vision, okay? I talk a lot about alignment and I go deep with people around what does it really look like to live an aligned life? Who else here would think it was amazing if they could wake up every single day and be in total alignment with their truth? Right. That would be amazing. Now, I get asked it all the time. It's one of the questions I always get asked in interviews and when I work with clients. And I say, Regan, how do I get further into alignment? How do I live in alignment? And the question is very simple. If you rephrase it, you simply say, well, what are you aligning to? What are you aligning to? If you don't know what you're aligning to, then how are you meant to be in alignment with it? Right? And so once you're clear around what are you aligning to, it becomes very simple. Your life becomes very easy. Making big decisions becomes very easy because it's simply a question of, okay, this decision, is it going to take me further into alignment with my truth, with my vision, or is it going to steer me away? And that's it. People get so caught up in the details when really, you just simply need to look, well, what is my vision? What am I calling in? What am I creating? So when I say vision, I think you really need to understand that there's two types of people in this world, and I've already touched on them. The first type is someone who creates a vision from ego, who creates a vision from what is it that I want in the world, okay? Now, I'm not saying that's wrong. You can definitely get results from doing that. But the second type of person says, what do I need to become available for which needs to flow through me? What am I here to do in the world? If I am to truly become a servant of the world, what does that vision look like? Knowing that, of course, you can have all that you want in your life. Of course, you can have the amazing things, the money, the time, the relationship. You can have all of that. But that's simply a default of the vision that you're becoming available to receive. Who's with me on this, right? Now, you get to choose where you play. You can choose to play from what they teach you in school of setting goals and what do you want in your life. Or you can choose to play around really expanding into something bigger, becoming more, so that you could tap into creating something that's so much bigger than you. It's exciting, but it scares you each and every single day, right? Scared people in the room, raise your hands. Right. Probably means you're super close, if not already, tapping into creating and receiving this vision. Now, when you go into your vision work, write this down. You want to make sure that you look at every area of your life. We get really tricked, I guess, as humans by going, okay, there's generally one or two areas of our lives that we kind of want to focus on, right? You think, okay, well, I just love to increase my income. Or I would really love to manifest a beautiful relationship. And we get kind of stuck on that. We get a little bit obsessed with it, right? I mean, even Oprah says, hey, you can have it all, but not all at once. I disagree. Okay? You can absolutely have it all at once. You can have it all on your terms. And you can have it at a super high level across the board. But the trick is, you have to choose. You have to commit it to the world. You have to declare it to the world. Because what happens otherwise is that you get what you ask for. You create the money. You create the business. You manifest the beautiful relationship, but at what expense? All of a sudden you have the beautiful relationship, but your income goes down the drain. Down the drain, rather, not the drain. Or you create the money that you're looking to manifest, but you're tired and overweight and you've got no energy left. And for me, that's kind of not worth it, right? Wouldn't it be better to create an abundant life across the board, tapping into every single area of your life? So what areas do you guys think we should look at? What's important? Just shout them out. Family, health,
Education.
love, education,
Spirituality.
freedom, spirituality,
Adventure.
adventure,
Finances.
fun,
Character.
expression,
Character.
character, finances, absolutely.
Career.
And you can really take each of these and break them down into detail. I mean, the basics, for example, would be to say money. But okay, what does it look like in terms of cash flow? What does it look like in terms of investing? What does it look like in terms of just freedom money that you have each and every single month? What does that look like? And really actually getting clarity on that, getting clear on that. Because here's the cool thing, guys, we're a connected unit, right? We're a connected unit, and when we do focus on one area, everything is going to rise with it. But if we're intentional across the board, we're just going to elevate even quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker, okay? So who thinks that they've done, a little bit of visioning work before, and you're kind of clear on your vision, you could probably spend some more time on it, but you know how to go and do the work on this, right? Nice. Okay, the rest of you are like, no, you don't know what a vision is? You're super confused right now? It's way above your head? Okay, I'm assuming you guys know how to sit down and do some journaling, or do some meditation, or some visualization, right? And tap into your vision. Now here's something super powerful, and when I learned this completely changed my life. And this massively accelerated the physical results that were showing up in my reality, okay? So I understood the basics. I understood, okay, I know how to manifest a vision. I know how to get clear through every single area of my life. And one of my mentors sat down and said, yeah, Regan, do you want to 10x that? I was like, well, of course. And he said to me, you see, everyone's unconscious mind has a cap. We have a limit. We have a limit of what we can see. We have a limit of what we can tap into. We also have a limit of what we can receive. So in order to create a bigger vision showing up in your external reality faster, you need to increase your internal capacity to touch more, see more, experience more, breathe more, and tap into your vision at a deeper level. So you do this by simply what I've called tapping into your upper limit, right? So once you've done your visioning work and you get super, super clear on this, you simply want to go, okay, what's next? And you want to have every area of your life sorted like this. And you want to take one area at a time and simply go, okay, if that vision was already my reality, if it was already here, if I was already living into it, what would my vision be? Can you see how most people don't think of the vision of the vision? They don't think of the upper limit above the limit. They just go for their limit. Now, often we don't necessarily hit our limit exactly when we want to hit it. But what happens all of a sudden when you start expanding your mindset and expanding your energetic capacity to really receive this, all of a sudden the vision gets a bit smaller, right? It gets a bit easier. It's like, oh, that was really just my vision? Oh my gosh, what about this vision? So you take it piece by piece. If the goal is to manifest $100,000, great, you've already received that. What's the next goal? It's probably not $100,000, right? Maybe it's 120, 150, 200, whatever. Write it down. Start feeling into it. Start getting clarity around it, right? Because if you can't see beyond where you're going, your brain will literally not manifest it. And this is the scary, crazy thing. Your unconscious mind is wired to protect you. It's wired to keep you safe. It's wired to keep you in your comfort zone. Okay, and what happens in your comfort zone? Do you grow or not grow? You don't grow, right? So it's wired to keep us there. Now, we want our unconscious mind to keep us safe. We want it to actually keep us there. Because if we didn't have this ability to keep ourselves safe or not, we'd see a cliff, think it was exciting, and walk off the edge, right? So we're not looking at shutting this down, but we are looking at how to play with this so it doesn't get in the way. How do we actually show your mind, this is the vision, then this is the upper vision. All you're telling your unconscious mind is, it's safe. I can handle it. It's actually a good thing. Because if it can't see above the vision, it marks it as blankness, darkness, death, and it's going to go, don't manifest this because I don't know what's on the other side of it. You guys with me?
Yes.
Right? So can you see, simply by increasing your capacity to do this, you start going, wow, all of a sudden the results start actually manifesting even faster, okay? So, next thing I want to run through with you guys. I'm going fast, but you guys all right?
Yep.
Okay, I've got a lot to get through. I'm like so much in my head right now. So, firstly, tapping into your vision, getting clear through every single area, and then expanding your vision so you have your upper limit, your upper vision. So your brain doesn't shut you down and keep you stagnant, but instead moves you towards higher levels of expansion. Next thing you need to look at is your identity, okay? You've got to look at your identity. Now, what I mean by this, quite simply, is how are you showing up in the world? Who do you think you are? And how are you wired right now? Okay? Very simple. If you have a vision, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, if you have something that's coming through you that you're looking to manifest, to tap into higher levels of abundance, if who you are, who you think you are, at your core, is not in alignment with that version of you that can handle that vision, it's not going to manifest. Right? Why is it that so many people go, okay, all right, damn it, I'm overweight. I'm going to go and I'm going to exercise every day for 12 weeks. I'm going to do the best diet and detox ever. And they get the result, but then they bounce right back. Why is that? Even sometimes they're still exercising and they're still doing the diets, but the weight still comes back. Because their identity of who they unconsciously think they are is not in alignment with who they need to be to handle that vision. In this case, that vision of them with the super hot body that goes to the gym every day, right? Why is it that so many people look externally and go, okay, the vision is to manifest $100,000, and they go, and they create it, and they're like, boom, 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 and they're doing everything strategically right. Sure enough, the money shows up, they go, boom, I made it. What happens? They lose it. They lose it, it goes. They find some way to simply release it, all back to the universe. Why? Because their identity not only isn't in alignment with that version of them that can manifest that money, it's not the identity that can keep the money either. Some people are really good at creating identities that can create a lot of money and a lot of cash flow, but if you don't have the identity of who do I need to become in order to keep it, it's a completely different game, right? You guys following me on this?
Yes.
Okay, so the question to ask yourself quite simply is this, you can write this down. Who do I need to become in order to live into this vision automatically? Who do I need to become? And when we get deeper on this, you can start looking into things like, literally, how do I walk? How do I talk? Who do I associate with? Who do I hang around? Who's my environment? What do I tolerate in this world? What do I tolerate in my life? What do I tolerate in this category of life that I'm looking to manifest more in? What do I not tolerate? What am I now choosing to eliminate? What am I choosing to let go of? What am I choosing to release? What do I focus on each and every single day? Right? When I wake up in the morning, what is the first thing that comes into my head? What is my focus? What is my drive? What is my energy? What does this version of you eat? What do you put in your body? What do you fuel your body with? Right? Are you creating a container, even if your big vision isn't that relative around, say, a health goal? You know, what are you actually fueling your body with so your body can keep up with the vision that you're manifesting? Just as important. You need a hand?